With the coronavirus spreading all across the globe at a rapid pace, societies are affected in more than one way. Entire industries are losing money by the day, companies are dealing with bankruptcy, and people are preparing for the unknown, as COVID-19, or the coronavirus, has put everyone on notice one way or another. Romans 5 verse 3 to 4. We rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. If you're a fan of the fight game, chances are you will not be able to watch your favorite sports anytime soon. On the other hand, this is the perfect time to check out amazing fights, amazing events that happened in the rich history of the sport of boxing. May you stay safe, and may the Most High bless you. Hey, what's going on? This is Boxing Subjective Observer, and welcome back to Ringside Stories. Feel free to like and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you enjoy the content. Today we're doing 7 boxing commentators, pundits, analysts who used to be world champions in the past. Hopefully today's list inspires you to check out the body of work these guys put in that ultimately earned them the spot at the analyst panel.
When you look at it, his skill set, fundamentals, the basics, all of those things are missing.
So, without any further ado, let's get right into it. Number 7, Tony the Bomber Bellew. You might know him as Pretty Ricky Conlan. The new kid on the block working with Sky Sport is Tony the Bomber Bellew, who made his name off of being a blue-collar guy, and hard work is what gets you the success in boxing.
Them hours and months and years in the gym, they pave the way for you to learn and do different things in the ring.
Notorious for wearing his heart on his sleeve, Tony Bellew will give you his assessments that can be described as realistic and fair, whether you agree or not.
He'll be slightly impressed himself by the eagerness of Usyk to engage him up close, as you can see here. Good left hand there by Usyk.
That is a reflection of Bellew the fighter, who campaigned at light heavyweight and cruiserweight for the majority of his career, with hard work, guts, and determination. Nothing flashy, yet a fan favorite nonetheless, and loved by his people in Liverpool. Notable fights Tony Bellew got involved in: his WBC Cruiserweight title shot against Ilunga Mukabu, Alexander Usyk for the Undisputed Cruiserweight Championship, and both David Haye fights. Number 6, Sergio Mora. These days he's making his appearances at The Zone. Sergio Mora's analysis can be described as balanced.
It's a 50-50 fight if you break down the categories. Power, 50-50. Athleticism, Jacobs. Chin, Canelo. Body punching, Canelo. Size advantage, experience, amateur pedigree, and on and on and on.
And some fighters like and need that military type of training and sergeant-like talking. I don't dig that. I don't think Golovkin digs that.
Including the fans. I've never seen Golovkin get booed. Jacobs has been on a tear lately, and the confidence it's at its peak, the momentum is at the right time. The cards are lined up for Daniel Jacobs to shock the world.
He's fighting the best of the best. He's going to get that.
So that's nonsense, man. Just because my knockout ratio doesn't insist. But dude, anyone you clip them in the tip of the chin, they're going out.
If you look at Sergio Mora's boxing career, you probably not rate him as an all-time great, not even a great in his era. He wasn't renowned for his punching power. However, the Latin snake was unconventional. As a switch hitter, he was able to fight off both stances, and his awkward movement offset some good fighters, including Hall of Famer Shane Mosley. And though Mora wasn't a pound-for-pound level fighter, he still held the WBC light middleweight world title at one point in time. Notable fights: his first fight with Daniel Jacobs, his first fight with Vernon Forrest, and his fight with Sugar Shane Mosley. Number 5, Carl the Cobra Froch. Since Carl Froch became a commentator, he's shown a bit of cheeky humor, some banter, and a bit of low-key trolling.
Wow, I've done a lot of crying. I feel like I want to give you a hug. Very emotional guy.
Something he wanted the then cash cow to take notice of.
In my last fight, before I knocked out George Groves at Wembley Stadium in front of 80,000 fans, I worked a lot on power, so I did a lot of swimming and I chopped down a few trees myself. And then I held my feet and then I knocked him out.
Froch's approach as a commentator is in stark contrast with Froch the prize fighter, where he was known as the Cobra. He combined his relentlessness and fighting heart with punching power and a granite chin. The Sheriff from Nottingham was able to excel in the loaded Super 6 tournament at super middleweight in the early 2010s. Froch came in second place to the undefeated and later two-weight world unified world champion Andre SOG Ward. He'd regain a portion of the world titles in May of 2012 by pummeling the only champion left out of that Super 6 tournament, undefeated Romanian Lucian Bute, in 5 rounds. Other notable fights include Arthur Abraham, Jermaine Taylor, and his second fight with St. George Groves. Number 4. David the Haymaker Hay. Although he makes his living as a boxing manager these days, the moments David Hay does join an analyst panel, he offers an interesting insider's perspective, as the Haymaker was boxing since the age of 10. Agree or disagree, he backs his opinion with good points, as David Hay is a great communicator.
First time round, it was a controversial draw. This time round, I believe he's the younger man. He's the guy who is fresher, and it will be another close fight. But this time, the decision, I believe the judges will go for Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Renowned for his explosive power that wobbled the tallest heavyweight in boxing history.
Für den besseren Boxer, für David Hay und Valuev ist angenockt.
With 26 out of 28 wins coming by way of stoppage or knockout. Becoming the unified WBA, WBC, and WBO Cruiserweight World Champion, and later also adding the WBA Heavyweight Championship to his resume. Some of Hayes' notable fights include Jean-Marc Mormeg, Big Mac, Enzo Maccarinelli, and Derek Delboy Chisora. Number 3. Andre SOG Ward. Known for his calm demeanor, Andre Ward has the keen ability to break down fights, educating boxing fans watching at home.
The onus is on us as broadcasters and analysts to educate the people on what they're seeing. The knockouts are good, but they will not sustain you throughout the course of your career. You better have something else to work with. I like that he had to go rounds. I like that he had to take a little bit and dish it out. It's not a heart thing with Teofimo. It's not that he doesn't have it. He's ready for a title shot, but he has to work on some technical things. He has to shore up some things, Mark, if he's going to compete with the big boys.
And even able to speak to a fighter based on his own experience.
A lot of youngsters today, they think they tough till they get in there with their heat. Everybody's a soldier when it ain't no wars going on. You feel what I'm saying? Everybody's a lion till they face another lion. Then you see what type of lion you are.
Andre Ward represents the cerebral part within boxing, which is a result of studying the fundamentals that make up for the sports that is known as the sweet science.
Your coach can only tell you to do so much. Like, they can lay the blueprint out and tell you what to do, but you got to have the guts to go in there and do it, and you got to have the instincts.
In 2012, Ward conquered the super middleweight division, beating all top-level competition with the exception of IBF champion Lucien Bute. 5 years later, he dethroned Sergey Kovalev, becoming the unified WBA, IBF, and WBO light heavyweight champion and retiring with an undefeated record of 32 wins, 0 losses. Notable fights on SOG's illustrious record include a unification fight at super middleweight with Carl the Cobra Froch in the Super 6 final, his 11th round stoppage over Mikhail Kessler, and both Sergey Kovalev fights. Number 2. Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi. Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi knows the sports of boxing inside out. Able to break down fights.
The bag doesn't change range on you. The bag doesn't change the look on you. When you don't do them on the bag, when you find yourself with a human being in front of you, there's going to be a puzzle like Floyd Mayweather, for example, who's the biggest puzzle of them all.
Has very strong opinions.
You know, I feel like he cheated on the way up, and I don't like that. I mean, I feel like he put fighters' lives in danger. I feel like anytime we step in the ring, our lives are in danger. And if you are that kind of garbage person to put an opponent's life more in danger by putting PEDs in your system, then for me, you're a garbage person and you're a garbage individual, and I can't respect that.
His accent tells you a story, yet at the same time he does not shy away from his roots.
Vuoi bisticciare, ti portiamo in palestra e ti, come si dice in siciliano, ti lisciano un pelo, e così ce la smetti, no?
And he can even do his boxing gigs in Spanish.
¿Por qué tú quieres en el octagon? Porque no tiene huevos, es un payaso.
Fight fans wouldn't necessarily rate Paulie Malignaggi as a fighter, though one cannot deny his unbelievable mic skills.
Here's the difference with me and Adrian, alright? We both got money, but I'm good looking, alright? There's girls that are closer to you, and then there's something us guys call weak. Jessica was weak. That means Jessica can f anybody she wants, and when I got time on the weekends, I'll do what I want to do.
And enough of that free shit.
I'm just saying,
My man, I'm not 38 years old, alright? You fought a punching bag time. All Zavic needed was Everlast on his forehead.
But you still got 4 losses, son.
The guy's better than you. The guy's better than you. I got paid for those 4 losses.
Still, Malignaggi shared the ring with top-level competitions such as Miguel Cotto, Sean Porter, and Amir Khan. Although he lost all of his fights at the upper echelon, the Magic Man won world titles in 2 weight divisions. Notable fights include his first world title fight versus Miguel Cotto, his fight with undefeated Adrian Broner, and his WBA title fight against undefeated welterweight Vashislav Shenchenko in the champion's backyard of Ukraine. Before we go to our number 1, here are some honorable mentions. Timothy Desert Storm Bradley.
He got caught and he went to sleep. And I think I see the same outcome, similar outcome in the Terence Crawford fight.
Marco Antonio Barrera.
Thank you, a very nice fight. Maybe I will want to see to Pacquiao with Spencer.
Errol
I
Spence?
like it, yeah.
All right, thank you.
Lennox Lewis.
I thought it was a good, solid performance by Riddick Bowe. You know, he did what he had to do. I think that Evander Holyfield is a great champion, and he went out like a champion.
Number 1, Roy Jones Jr. There are pundits that are great. Some of them are world class. And then there are boxing pundits who are God blessed. Roy Jones Jr. is the quintessential boxing mind, which he showcased as a pundit commentating for HBO Boxing. Jones would put the viewer in the fighter's shoes.
All night long, he's getting caught the same kind of overhand right hook, right over the top of his jab. Here you see James throwing the jab and following with the overhand right because Ruiz is so straight up in the air. There's nothing he can do to get out the way of that punch. Once again, you see him counter the right hand, this time with his own straight right, which is one of James' best punches.
He was able to anticipate things that were about to happen during fights.
Right hand. Oh! That's another knockdown. He's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up, Jim. He's not getting up. No, he's been knocked out. A sensational right-hand knockout.
And Roy Jones Jr. had a fervent passion for the sports. For example, when he called his final fight for HBO Boxing.
So to see the whole thing go away after all these years, it's kind of tough. You know, it's like now you know what the Chicago Bulls felt like when Michael Jordan had to depart. Now you know what the Pittsburgh Steelers felt like when that Great Wall had to break up. You know, now you know what great Laker teams feel like when they got to break up, because now we're at a process where we got to break up.
Now, when Jones was an active fighter during the 90s, many, including non-boxing fans, considered Roy Jones Jr. an icon.
Boom!
Holy
Oh, wow. Big right hand.
Is his head still attached?
Yeah, look at that.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
You all right? You all right? Can't reach this. Just kind of
and looked invincible in most people's eyes. His athleticism was unmatched, even making Hall of Fame fighters bang average. Just watch his fights with James Lights Out Tony, the Executioner Bernard Hopkins, or his fight moving up to heavyweight champion John the Quiet Man Ruiz. What do you think of this list? Let me know what your favorite boxing commentator is in the comment section below. Feel free to like and share. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell if you enjoy the content. This is Boxing Subjective Observer with Ringside Stories. Thanks for watching and have a legendary day.